the quiet town of Millfield, Maine, there's an old man who never leaves his workshop. Locals call him the Dollmaker. He's known for crafting lifelike porcelain dolls that sell for hundreds each, one eerily perfect, with glassy eyes that seem almost alive. But when missing children start appearing in his new doll collection, people begin to whisper that his creations aren't made of clay at all. Those who've entered his workshop say they heard faint breathing from the shelves, and at night, when the lights go out, tiny footsteps echo from inside. Some say the dolls move. Others claim the missing children never left. They just changed form. One mother made the mistake of opening her daughter's doll and found something inside she can never forget. Because in Millfield, no child truly disappears. They're all in the Dollmaker's collection. Millfield, Maine was the kind of town that looked peaceful on the outside, white fences, quiet streets, and the smell of pine drifting through the air. But behind that calm surface was something deeply wrong. It began with the disappearances. First, little Ella Parker vanished, walking home from school. Then, 2 brothers from the next town disappeared while riding their bikes. Each time, search parties scoured the woods, but no one was ever found. The only clue, tiny footprints near the edge of the forest, leading toward the old Dollmaker's house. His real name was Mr. Whitlock, a thin, pale man with glassy spectacles and a quiet voice. He'd lived alone for decades in a creaking wooden house filled with shelves upon shelves of dolls. People said he made them from imported porcelain and silk, but no one had ever seen his shipments. One autumn evening, 17-year-old Mika Sanders, a local high school reporter, decided to investigate. She'd grown up hearing about Whitlock's cursed dolls, but wanted proof. She walked the foggy path toward his home, the crunch of dead leaves beneath her boots. A wooden sign hung over the porch. Whitlock's Wonders, dolls that live forever. Mika knocked once. No answer. Then the door creaked open by itself. Inside, the air smelled like varnish and something else, something metallic. The walls were lined with dolls of every size, their eyes glinting in the dim light. Some smiled, others frowned, and a few looked terrified. "Can I help you, dear?" Mika jumped. Mr. Whitlock stood behind her, holding a porcelain arm. His hands were covered in pale dust. I wanted to ask about your dolls," she stammered. "They look so real." He smiled faintly. "That's the point, my dear. Children are beauty frozen in time." Her eyes fell on one doll in particular, a tiny girl with red ribbons in her hair. Mika's breath caught. It was Ella Parker, the same freckles, same expression. "Where did you get the idea for this one?" Mika asked. Whitlock adjusted his glasses. "Oh, inspiration comes from all around us, sometimes from memory." As she turned to leave, something brushed against her ankle. She looked down. The doll's hand had moved. Mika ran from the house and didn't look back. The next day, she told Sheriff Dalton everything. He didn't believe her at first, but after she showed him photos of the doll, he agreed to investigate. That night, a search team entered Whitlock's house. They never came back out. Neighbors reported screams and the sound of glass breaking. When backup arrived, the workshop was empty, no sign of Whitlock or the deputies. But on the shelves sat new dolls, 6 of them. Each had eyes that looked far too human. Weeks later, strange noises came from the locked workshop at night, soft crying, whispers, and the sound of tiny hands tapping on the glass windows. One night, a passerby claimed to see a candle burning inside. He swore he saw Mr. Whitlock at the window, his face pale, his hands covered in porcelain dust. Behind him, hundreds of dolls lined the walls, and every one of them blinked. Months passed. The town tried to forget, but then a little girl named Clara moved into a nearby house. Her parents bought her a doll from a yard sale, one with black curls and a lace dress. 3 nights later, Clara vanished. The doll was found on her pillow the next morning, its head slightly turned, smiling. When investigators opened it, they found something sealed inside the porcelain chest cavity, a small, beating heart. The police burned Whitlock's house down that winter, but people still hear faint knocking from the ruins. Some say if you walk near the ashes on a quiet night, you can hear children whispering, "Let us out." And if you leave your window open, you might wake to find a doll sitting on your dresser, its eyes already fixed on you, waiting to join the collection. Because the Dollmaker of Maine never really died. He just moved his workshop somewhere new.